Hi there, good morning. I've picked out this book, which I'd mentioned briefly on a different, on one of the short videos. This is Bernard Krigstein, and this is a book by Greg Sadowski. It says here, a retrospective of the great artist of the 20th century who began his career as one of the most innovative comic book creators of his generation. The first volume traces Bernard Krigstein. Okay, I'm going to struggle mentioning his last name. His life and career from his early years as a painter through to his groundbreaking period as at EC Comics. So let's flip through this one today. I have not spent that much time on this. I picked it up a while ago. I was quite familiar with his drawings. So today's a good chance to have a look. That's a really nice design. Hopefully the lighting situation's okay. I'm sorry if I'm creating many shadows or if it's too bright or shiny. Kind of reminds me of Daniel Klaus or Adrian Tomine. Maybe I'll link up those guys. I'm pretty sure you'd know them if you're watching this video. One thing I always do think about when I look at someone like this whose drawings end up being like this, I always wonder if that's the peak of their art skills, and then you quickly realize that they're really good painters before they and very good at sketching almost real life detail. It's not surprising to see that they're very good at painting with oils. I have to also apologize in advance. I'm filming this on a Saturday morning. It's a long weekend over here in Japan. I do have a cup of coffee, which I will drink from every now and again. So if I do make noise, I apologize. I also bought a microphone because I thought I would use it to improve the sound quality. However, it does not plug into my bloody iPhone. Into my iPad. I have an iPad mini. I bought the wrong adapter. So I guess I will just use the iPad mini's microphone for the time being. I do have this tendency to get excited about buying something new, and then I tend to buy too quickly, too impulsively. Maybe that's the same thing I do with books. This book I bought in actually one of my favorite places in Tokyo called Jimbocho. They don't have that many English bookshops, but if you're looking for like Japanese manga, it's most probably a good place to spend some time. Lots of old books, dusty. There was a period where I bought a lot of English books there, but over the years they have closed down. I go there every now and again to pick up some comics, and anyway, my New Year's resolution was to read more Japanese comics, but I'm not really progressing at that quick a pace at this stage, and I'm not really in a rush, to be honest. Anyway, I picked up this book over there in Jimbocho a number of years back. I was familiar with one of his stories, which is called The Master Race, and it has a sequence of a guy walking down the steps, which I'm sure will pop up in this book. Anyway, as you can most probably tell by now, I do like the old style of graphic novels. Yeah, so this guy was truly influential. And sorry, I paused here because it reminded me of something. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give it a minute. If I can't find it in 10 seconds, I'll keep going forward. Yeah, sorry. I didn't really know the name of the guy, but this panel reminded me of this book, which is by a guy called Ben Catchell. But if you look at the drawings, look at that. It's almost identical. I don't think I'll ever film this book, but I don't know. My memory works in funny ways. I tend to remember, I think I have what you called image. My memory is based on images. Anyway, that's a whole different story, but I'll link this book up later. Sorry, I went on a real slant there. And somehow I can remember where I put all my books, which is another of my strong points. Sorry, that was a real slant I went into. It kind of reminds me of like those Dick Tracy comics. These types of books, they're not that easy to find. You're either going to pay a lot of money for them in like a vintage kind of bookshop that knows all the pricing system, or you're just going to get good luck and find it in a generic art bookshop that maybe doesn't sell many of these types of books, so they just sell it at a cheap price. Yeah, I picked this one up in an art bookshop. I can't remember exactly how much it cost, but it really wasn't expensive at all. But I've traveled there so many times over the years. Not much recently, because as you know, I don't have that much space, and I'm trying to decrease the amount of visits I do over there. I usually go a few times a year now. Yeah, so if you happen to find it at a cheaper price, it's always nice. Although I'm sure there is a time when I'll end up just selling most of these, because I'm sure there's a collector out there who will perhaps spend more time looking at this book than I do. I can kind of understand why this guy's so well respected. I mean, this panel's amazing. This is a small panel called Monotony. Exactly as he had done every morning for the past 14 years, Milton Gans sighed, pushed open the door to the bank employee's entrance, noted that, as always, it was precisely 2 minutes to 9 on the cold face of the wall clock. You can see how it's somebody just sitting behind a teller. Okay, this happens definitely in modern day society. The monotony of life. My initial impression of this book is that as it's part one, it's very wordy. I guess if you're looking for the history of this guy and his influence, then this is most probably a good book. If you're looking for more of, I guess, more images, then this book is most probably going to leave you a touch disappointed. Although I think there is enough here to look at, to be honest with you. This one looks really familiar. I'm sure that's popped up in another book. I think this is where his influential comics are starting to come out now. This is called The Vault of Horror. It's from The Vault of Horror, which must be an EC type comic. I mean, that type of drawing is amazing. So dramatic. This is the famous one called Master Race. And the panel that's influential should be coming up. Kind of reminds me of like Sin City by Frank Miller. Yeah, this is the panel that's meant to be quite popular here. The guy's running and he kind of stumbles. I guess there wasn't so much action caught in comics before. Anyway. I don't have that much to say about this book. I'll link up the other books that I mentioned or the other authors. Yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like his artwork? Yeah, if you have any comments, do leave them in the comments. Overall, it's a nice book. I should spend more time actually reading it though. Published by Fantagraphics, which is a great publisher. I have many Fantagraphics novels, of course. Have a good day.